Richmond, 96 double.
99.7 KRED.
Telling you, man, you leading the league in hydration.
Aurora.
I've eaten burritos bigger than you.
This is Running Wild with Brandon Jackson.
You guys do our San Diego game last year?
Joe, I can't remember where I worked last week.
You know, sometimes that's what it feels like doing this job. It feels like all the weeks just blend into each other. I kind of forget what happened in one week, and then all of a sudden I'm running around doing a whole bunch of different stuff. But hey, I'm glad to be here with you. This is Brandon Jackson, running wild with you in the morning, talking some Red Foxes football. We got the big game that everybody's been looking forward to, Warhawks versus Red Foxes. Not sure why this matchup in particular is of interest to people, but we will be heading over to Monroe, Louisiana to go ahead and face them. Already preparing my trip, getting ready. I had a huge celebration after our win at home against Texas State. Got to go out on the field, talk with all the players. Gaines afterwards gave an interview. His girlfriend jumped on his back in the middle of it as they celebrated. Fantastic game for him. And one of the notable things that he said afterwards was, you know, I feel like I finally have a grasp, and I'm not letting go. So, this is Chandler Gaines' team now. I think that Mashburn has gone 100% with him, fully confident in him, as now we've gotten 2 wins in a row now, pushing us to 3-5, and we're 3-2 in conference play. I didn't think that this early on we would be picking up wins this easily. Well, let me not say this easily. Wins in this much succession as we have in pretty much 2 straight weeks in the first 5 games. We're, like I said, 3-2, 2 in a row. We're going to go to Monroe this week and hopefully pull off another win. I'd definitely be excited for it. Monroe has a similar looking team in terms of offense and defense. The big difference is just the difference in terms of stats, the pass defense and the run defense, where we actually have one of the best run defenses in all of college football, believe it or not. I know, shocking fact, right? The reason why that is, however, is because we give up so much in the pass game. So we get thrown on a lot, and that's actually been an area of concern for Mashburn, as he is actually considering benching Paul Beneventi. Paul Beneventi has been a bit of a liability in the pass game and hasn't really tightened things up. So Mashburn has thought about possibly putting in the other junior corner that we have available right now, Tyler Wilkerson, to replace him, as he has done a better job in terms of coverage and has done a good job in like that nickel corner position. So there may be him moving up there and maybe putting Beneventi in there to deal with slot receivers, as Beneventi is probably the slowest corner that we have out there. And his awareness overall has also been an issue. But I mean, let's actually talk about a big positive here, other than the defense, and that being the difference between our upcoming matchup. The game against Texas State, we had an emerging star, essentially, in Dallas Killinger. I mean, what a game that he had in that one. Over 100 yards receiving, 5 receptions, the big touchdown there to go ahead and help secure the game for us. I absolutely loved Killinger's performance in that one, and he has locked up that slot position. That is the one thing that actually has been confirmed by Mashburn, is that he will take over as the slot receiver. So can't wait to see him run around all over the place this upcoming week when we go and take on the Warhawks. I've also got some questions from you guys. Remember, if you do want to leave questions for me, I will try to answer as many as I can on the next show. Go ahead and just leave them in the comment section down below on the website, and we'll go ahead and answer those. And also, if you're there online, remember, we're streaming the practice as well. But before we actually get into the practice, I didn't get a chance to watch the high school games, as a lot of my focus was on Aurora and doing some press for them and getting kind of the word out around here as we're starting to build Colorado into a pipeline. we have some high school, some games, just some scores I can read off here. Aspen completes the undefeated season as they absolutely blow out Denver 63-13. Greeley defeats Colorado Springs 21-7. Durango still holds on to their one-loss season 38-31. Next week, I believe they face Durango will face Aspen for the the Colorado State Championship. So I may actually be there for that game. We may do something special for it. I will let you know more about it when we get there. Sunrise defeated Boulder 35-28. St. Joe's defeated Pueblo 24-15. Littleton defeated Moore 37-15. And Littleton finished with 2 losses on the season, but they still do have Mondrasso coming back next year, as well as Aldridge and Frazier. So that should be an interesting combo. Maybe Mashburn takes a look at them and sees what they can do. But Littleton could be a force on offense next year, and possibly their defense steps up a little bit more for them. So they're definitely going to be a team that I look out for, but I'm definitely looking forward to this championship game between Aspen and Durango next week. And in terms of recruiting news, we actually do have big news. First offensive guard brought in, Michael Ecker, the guard from St. Joe's, has officially signed with Aurora. And Paul Phillips, the running back from Pueblo, officially committed to Aurora University. So that means that now we have 4 students from the state of Colorado now making Colorado a pipeline state, and which would help us in terms of keeping talent in here in Colorado, in the state and at our school. So part 1 of the plan is already in action. We do have Utah. We do have Colorado. Next ones to focus on are New Mexico and Arizona. And then I guess he wants to also try to keep perhaps California there, since that's where a lot of talent actually comes from, is California. But last but not least, we also picked up kicker Lee Hines, which is another interesting thing to bring up, considering that Sean O'Shea had so many problems kicking, and his distance on his kicks were not sharp. So going to be interesting to see what happens there in the kicking game with Lee Hines coming in. So as the practice is going on online, I'll go ahead and jump into your questions. Remember, again, if you want your questions answered, please do leave them in the comment section below, and I will try to answer as many as I can in the next week. So let's go ahead and see here what we got. Let's scroll through here. Okay, this one is from, give me a second here. Whoa, that's weird. Sorry, having a bit of a production issue here on the radio show. Hey, we're live, so this is what happens sometimes. Alrighty, here we go. This one from Brandon Vital, or Vital. Brandon Vital. Hey, Brandon. Well, he spells his Brandon a little different. He has an E-N. I am an O-N. Hey, Brandon, love the show. Quick question. With the emergence of Dallas Killington, I think he meant Dallas Killinger, have you spoken to Mashburn on what his role will be for the rest of the year in Week 12? Yes, like I said, he will actually be the slot receiver. He has pretty much solidified that position. Which is strange because now Brian Swift has essentially been demoted from being the second wide receiver to the slot receiver to essentially just not even in the starting 3. So quite a downfall for him. I haven't been able to talk to Brian about much or on how he's accepted the role or anything like that. But kind of excited to see Killinger. He's been really sharp, so can't wait to see more of him. Let's go to the second one here. Go to Andrew Greer, or Geyer. G-E-I-E-R, this Geyer? So I'm going to assume that is. Hey, Brandon, loving the way this team has been playing football right now. So do I. I was wondering if Dallas Killinger could see more targets because of the awesome game he played today from 513. Oh, where's the 513 at? I'm kind of curious now. Give me 1 second here. If I can... I can't. Sorry, I have my notepad in front of me, and it's actually covering my keyboard. There we go. 513, all the way out in Ohio. Okay, cool. So yes, I I have actually talked to Mashburn a little bit more in depth about that. He likes the way that Killinger attacks the middle whenever, they try to run seams with him or they try to run crossing patterns with him. Anything in the slot, he's been very effective in. So I think that he may actually end up eating up a lot of the targets. Maybe use a little bit more like a Danny Amendola, a Wes Welker type, and be very effective in the short game, and then use his ability to carry the ball afterwards to get extra yardage. So we'll definitely see. I mean, he did have that one deep play that was amazing, where he just like split the defender and the safety, and stormed to the end zone. I don't know if we're going to see more deep passes like that, but I definitely think he's going to get targeted a lot more now. Gaines has made notice of it, and I think Gaines may rely a little bit more on him, which is kind of weird. A lot of people were craving for Isaiah Irving, and yet here we are at Dallas Killinger halfway through the season. So the third question here, we're going to go to... Let's go to Josh Morgan here. Hey, Brandon, love the show and the Red Foxes play as of late. While we still obviously aren't a contender, we still have some solid pieces in place. What do you think the biggest needs are at the moment, and who could be possible recruits to fill those holes? Hashtag Run Wild from San Francisco, California. Hey, Run Wild, Josh. Yeah, I don't see a contender in this team yet. They're not competing for the conference championship yet. No, I think they're a long way away from that. The Western Kentucky game should have definitely made that one noticeable, and their competition with anybody outside of the conference too. I would think that the biggest needs are offensive linemen, and it's a good thing that they actually did bring in Michael Ecker to remedy that a little bit. I'm not sure what the plan is for him, but I think that he could be a big piece in terms of getting some protection there for whoever's back there at quarterback, whether it's someone like Mike Hayes who comes in all of a sudden and becomes the starting, takes the starting role. Mike Ecker would be in the same class as him, so they'd run all 4 or 5 years depending on if he decides to redshirt them. And I think on top of that, we also need to focus on defense as well. Like Mashburn mentioned, the issue with Beneventi is that he doesn't cover very well. He's a solid tackler, but coverage is an issue, and I think coverage has been a major issue with this team, as teams have just passed all over them. One of the bigger things in terms of, rather than just the offensive line, is just the fact that Mashburn needs to go out there and actually get corners and safeties as well to kind of help out. I've been interested in wanting to see a little bit more of Victor Van Slyke, who is the backup strong safety for Aurora. He's only a freshman. He'll probably see a little bit more time as the years go by, and whenever teams run the hurry up, you're definitely going to see him kind of subbing in and out. But the corners need to get better. I think that you can't rely on Dante Devine being the only guy there. I know Ishmael Finn-Michaels is still redshirted. Maybe next year he provides a little bit of a remedy there and improves the team in the secondary. But he's also got to go out there and recruit some corners to fix a lot of the problems. I think that's where my major concern is right now with the team. All right, let's take one more. I actually only see one other question here, and it's from... Wow, that's quite a name. Is that Buemba? I don't know. Bubimba Quarfel? Well, that's definitely the winner for most interesting name I've ever seen. He's also got a watermelon with like a fake like Mr. Potato kind of nose and eyeglasses in front of him. This is the most bizarre thing I've seen. Awesome game. Gaines was on fire in this one. Yes, he was. But that offensive line is still suspect. I agree. I like the weapons coming in, but where are these linemen that Mashburn needs to recruit? There are actually a few still on the board, and I think that he's still trying to go after as many as, he still has like a few. He just got Ecker in. I think we kind of reserve judgment on that one until we get to like the end of the season and see the offensive linemen that he's bringing in. And don't forget, next week he's actually focusing on defense, when we have the next home game, and it's going to be all defensive players coming in, and I think he has offensive linemen coming in the week after that as well. So there is definitely a game plan in place. But, I don't think it's like he's completely ignored it as we, again, he just got Michael Ecker, so I don't think there's going to be too much of an issue there. We'll take a break here. We'll talk a little bit more about Red Foxes football and what's coming up in the upcoming weeks. And get ready for this game against UL Monroe. I'm already a little tired here from everything that happened this previous week and then having to travel. I've got a lot on my mind. But when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about it. It's 99.7 KRED, Aurora.